everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experience that makes running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis. I'm a self-made lazy ultra runner, and I almost broke right there.
And I'm Mitch, and I'm just here to encourage you to mess it up more so I can make fun of you.
Yeah, I see your eyes start to light up a little bit sometimes when I get a little stuck.
Like I had no opener, and I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, well, continuing from last week's episode, I'm going to try. You'll definitely get it this episode, I guess. I'm sure. Continuing on from last week's episode where we talked about the different, what do you call them? Eras of...
Generations.
Generational,
like...
Yeah, birth, like when you're born. Gen Xers, Millennials, Gen Zers. Well, the Millennials throw it off because they're not called Generation such.
Well, they're their own problem.
I guess they're Generation Millennials. They just don't get the abbreviation Gen. Gen Millennials? No, they're just called Millennials.
That doesn't have a nice flow.
Gen Zers, that's fine. Gen X. Baby Boomers, they're not Gens either, are they? They're just Baby Boomers.
So we're the original.
We're the original Gen Xers, I guess. The Pepsi generation, right? Was it the Pepsi generation?
I don't know.
Is that us?
Now you're stretching.
I know. Well, I think it is. I think that's where, let me think here. I thought it was called.
I am a Generation Coke person, though.
Well, same here. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they can say what they want, but.
Yeah, it says the Pepsi generation is a marketing campaign slogan and theme launched by Pepsi Cola in 1963, inviting consumers to come alive. You're in the Pepsi generation.
Yeah, but 63 was still the boomers.
Well, no, but I'm saying that's when they launched it. So we would be, I guess, were they?
They were ahead of their time.
They were ahead of their time. They were ahead of the Gen Xers. But anyway, in this episode, we're actually going to talk about how running events have transformed over all the different decades or generations. We're going to take a look back, all the way back to the 70s and bring it up to current. So
when I was a wee child.
Yeah, I wasn't even a child in 70.
No.
Born yet.
You weren't even a thought
wasn't
yet.
Even thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were you were nearly in middle school.
Oh, jeez. No.
Were you graduated? No.
That's not true.
We're going to look at the classic, they call it the classic era, the 1970s to the 1990s. So they get a full 20 years here. Well, I guess unless they consider it, I guess it'd be 30 all the way through the 90s, not to 1990. So 30 years, 70s to basically to 2000. Local 5K, this was the focus. Local 5Ks, 10Ks, and the rise of the big city marathon, which, as I mentioned in the last episode when I was in high school, like you had to go somewhere, a big city. Maybe Detroit probably had it, Columbus, bigger cities had marathons. Outside of that, you just didn't see them.
Yeah, because when Grand Rapids Marathon came in, there was no, I think there
Nothing
was
close.
Something at one time that fizzled out, and I think Grand Rapids Marathon came in and they hit the right.
Yeah. They hit the boom and what had fizzled out. How old's Bayshore?
That's older than Grand Rapids.
Is it? A little bit? Yeah. But yeah, there just weren't that many. You had to travel to go to a marathon. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you were doing 5Ks and 10Ks. Very community-driven races, small-scale logistics, which makes sense, smaller communities. The Boston Marathon as a national benchmark, which, that was a huge thing. I mean, even think through the time that we've been running, how much I feel like Boston has lost its, it's not as, I don't think it's as big as it was when I first got into running.
Yeah, I know it's still a big deal for a lot of people because that is a benchmark that says
it is
everybody's goal. Like that's the first word out of someone's mouth.
I want to make Boston.
Or when you tell somebody you're a runner, oh, have you run the Boston Marathon? That's the only thing people have to associate.
But I think that shift is happening. And I say that because think about what we talked about on the last episode. It's more about experiences. It's more about it's not about the big marathon,
Mhm.
LA, like New York. I think they're really going to have to fight to keep.
Oh, it doesn't seem like they're hurting because how many?
Well, yeah,
I mean, you look at Chicago alone,
I say that, yeah, but then I think,
but a lot more people are running multiple
yes,
races now.
yeah.
So they might run Chicago, but they're running other stuff too that some podunk race.
Maybe it's that there are a ton more runners running that don't have the same drive for that race, but they
Right.
want to be a part of running.
Right.
Maybe that's it.
There's a lot of people I know that don't even leave Michigan. They
Yeah.
run.
They just run.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then little to no tech, gun time only. We talked about that a little bit on the last episode too. I do remember that.
I don't because
I do.
my first race was in
Bayshore. Oh no,
it was Grand Rapids, or really it was Riverbank 10K.
10K.
And then you tied that little chip to your shoe.
Oh yeah.
So now it's all in the bib, but I mean, even then you had to put it in the bucket when you were done.
Yeah, I remember running. I do remember running before all that. And I remember the first time I ran a chip time race. It was really a foreign thing. It was like, what are you talking about? Doesn't matter. Yeah, because I was running in middle school. I was running races I think in middle school and then right out of high school in the 90s, early 90s.
I forget that you were graduated in the 90s.
92.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then we shift to the 2000s. The boom, they say, of the 2000s. Running becomes more mainstream, which we did talk about a little bit on the last episode as well. Rise of charity runs and bucket list marathons, which I think you look at like Boston. If you want to run that, you can do it through charity now.
Mm-hmm.
And that they opened I don't know when they opened that, but think about it. That's a way to run a bucket list marathon.
What it makes me think of other bucket lists, like a bucket list. I know that there's some that are not impossible to get into that would be a bucket list run, like Pikes Peak. Like you should run Pikes Peak at some point in your life if you want to do something super hard.
Yeah, that you've talked about that and it doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it sucks.
It does not sound fun.
But like Big Sur is on that list, and it's not one of the majors.
But think about that.
But that one's hard to get into too. It's a lottery as well.
But how many of those are there?
There's a decent amount. I can't think of.
It's not the majors. Those are bucket list, right?
Yeah,
like
those are
a lot
absolutely.
of people want to do those because they're the majors.
Yep.
Or Big Sur, I've heard about that one. What's the California International?
The CIM.
Whatever it is. That's one that everybody talks about doing once.
San Francisco is another one.
Yeah,
that
I guess that would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas probably because it was Vegas Strip, but I don't think that was a big bucket list one. I think
know
people
because it actually stopped. They stopped having the marathon.
Yeah.
No, there's another one that took its place now.
A marathon?
Mm-hmm.
Do they run the Strip?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's the reason
it's called
to do
the
that
Las Vegas Marathon, but I don't think it's on the Strip.
That was what was cool about that is it would shut down the Strip for the marathon. That's big when you shut down the Strip. Continuing on with the boom of the 2000s, chip timing and online registration, which is online registration's a thing. You used to have to. Well, we talked about that with the Mummy.
Yeah. Do you remember doing an online?
I do.
Mail it in?
I do remember having to mail in an entry, or you sign up on race day. But again, you go back, it wasn't as big. You could do that pretty easily.
And you can still do that with the Mummy.
Yeah. I signed up race day. Well, and you can mail in a check.
You can mail it in.
Literally go to their Facebook page.
You can sign up on race day with cash. I think he only takes cash. And was the Mummy chip time? I know T-Rex is not chip time.
Neither. Mummy's not either.
So you just come in and
you get a popsicle stick when you come across. Yeah.
Old school. So if you want to experience old school, run the Mummy.
Yeah. It is a good race too. Chip timing and online registrations. Brands begin sponsoring races like Nike, Rock and Roll Series, things like that. Rock and Roll Series is huge. And then we have the 2010s. So 10 years later, you have themed races in the social era. So we have the explosion of fun runs like Color Runs, Tough Mudder, Spartan Races. That's huge.
Not my thing.
Not my thing, but it's huge.
Color Run, that just sounds silly.
I mean, honestly, though, the pictures look amazing. They're cool pictures.
Okay.
I think they're cool. I don't want to do one.
I think you should.
No, I don't want to do one. I think they look a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Dye your beard pink.
You don't have to. You get it dyed running through all the colors.
I know, but I think you should. I just want to see it dye your beard pink.
The colors look fun.
Sure.
Millennials driving.
What if you get in your eye? I don't know. Sounds like that sucks.
I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think a lot of people complain about it. They're still around, right?
I don't know.
They get sued.
I don't know. I just want to see if I could distract you.
Yeah. No, I'm on point.
Are you?
Yeah. What are we on?
I don't know.
Millennials driving the experience-based participation. We talked about that a little bit in the last episode as well. More about the experience than the race itself. But I mean, I don't know. We do that all the time. Fargo, Western States, how many others that you've done with groups.
But
it's the experience.
That is a runcation in that case because we go out there for the race, but it's all the stuff around the race.
With
like
it.
Showing up, like that's the Western States is great for that. Showing up, and they have Athletes Village, going into the store, the little store there, going and spending, $30 on ice cream.
Yeah. It's great.
That was a day.
Spend $15 here and you spend $40-$50 out there on the same thing. Yeah.
No, it's not going to be that expensive.
Oh my gosh, it was so expensive. Like, wait, are we paying for theirs too?
I think I got mine for free. I don't know why. I was in line right behind you. I got mine for free.
And once it's in the bowl, what do you do? Start
Put it back.
scraping it out. I don't want that much. Never mind. Yeah, social media as a huge motivator for running. Talking about the 2010s here.
The thing that gets me is the social media part is, I think of Strava, but I would have never thought TikTok and
Instagram
and all that
those
stuff. Oh,
I think it's just people showing what they're doing, and that's just another way, I guess. Look at me, I'm running. I don't know.
I'm not that cheery.
Well, and I'm just not that into social media. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how a ton of people, that's how they communicate. And that's fine. That's what you do. It's fine. Just not something. But I am, when I am running, I am big on Strava. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to watch it, see what other people are doing. Oh, wow, Mitch had a great run today. That's pretty cool. Like, oh, he did a race. Let's check it out.
I find I don't look at it if I'm not running, though.
Same here. Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I try to go there every now and then, but yeah. And then the growth of destination races and runcations. And you've done that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably starting in the 2010s.
Yeah.
When did you do the Grand Canyon?
The first time to the Grand Canyon was 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah. So 12, 13, 14, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, no, it was probably, 2014.
It was in the 2010s.
14 or 15. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you did John Muir that same era, same time, maybe a few years later or whatever.
2022.
Oh, was that 22? Wow. Was that recent?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I say recent. That was still 3 years ago.
The Grand Canyon again in 21.
Oh, okay. So that was in the 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's that in the 2010s, and then interesting 2020s. So we're coming current. So here and what's going forward. And I think this is interesting. COVID-19 accelerates virtual racing, 100% a real thing, except for it's virtual.
You're really running, if you want to say it that way. But
I mean, you are. And the thing of it is, like we've said, and I say this all the time, if you want to have a race that you say you have to wear a red hat, that's the rules. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if the race is virtual and that's the rules, that's the rules.
Fine.
You don't have to do it. but that's the rules.
And I won't.
Yeah, I know you won't. But there's a time like COVID-19, when COVID happened, that's the only way you could.
I think I've mentioned
For
this
a
before.
period.
So what we did is we would do marathon distance and we would
Yeah.
get together with friends. We'd set up an aid station on the back of a vehicle.
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
just running together.
and running together. But
Yeah.
we did a marathon distance.
Yeah.
Should have handed out
it's-
medals,
Yeah.
popsicle sticks. I don't know.
Introduction of GPS tracking, but that was before the 20s.
Yeah.
That
That
was easily into the 10s,
or before
even before. Yeah.
2000s.
Apps become big, virtual leaderboards. Now, that is something, I still think that was even before 2020. Virtual leaderboards.
Oh, yeah.
That was big on Strava for a
segments
while.
have been a big deal. And fastest known times have been a big deal for a long
Yeah.
time.
Increased access for global runners. Yeah. I mean, because we live in such a connected society today, we hear all about Tokyo Marathon or Berlin or
Unless you live in North Korea. I just saw an
Well,
article that
yeah.
Strava shut down tracking in North Korea.
oh, they won't let them.
Nope.
Yeah. I wonder, what about China?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't. Yeah, I don't have friends in those countries, so I don't see any updates. But yeah, increased access for global runners. You can find a race anywhere and you're connected to them and you can look it up and yeah, easy to do. Hybrid models. So run in person or virtual, same race.
It's not the same race.
It is the same race. It's just you're not competing with the same people. Because like today, so like when I did Kalamazoo, that was the only way you could do it was virtual.
Yep, I agree
You
with that.
couldn't do it in person.
Well, I'm just saying if they're actually having an in-person race and they offer a virtual part of that,
Yeah.
you're not competing against the virtual. The virtual
no.
person is not competing but against the person
Yeah,
in
definitely
person.
not. Definitely not. Come here, dude. He's having a time. I don't know what he's doing.
My sweatshirt.
Oh, that's what it is. He smells other dogs. Yeah, not anymore. I think, and even in for Kalamazoo, I don't remember.
You got a participation
Honestly,
medal.
I think you got a medal, but I think.
I remember we met for dinner and you
Oh yeah,
wore
I
your
wore
medal
it.
on your shirt.
Heck
And I'm
yeah,
like,
that was awesome.
I think I called you names.
Yeah. But yeah, nowadays you do not compete with, and I think I like it from I don't even know. Like if you sign up originally and something happened and now you can't make it, I think it's cool to go, all right, I'll shift over to the virtual. I'll run a marathon that whatever week or day or something. I get a virtual medal, says virtual run, whatever.
So I was signed up for New Jersey Marathon. I think it's next weekend. I didn't try to sign up for the virtual
Well, you can't run it. You'd have to run it.
on my scooter. But no,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in person next year.
Yeah. Yeah. And then gamification, AI powered coaching. I don't know what gamification is. Like, can somebody tell me what
Showing
that
your
is?
age.
Gamify. I think it was gamified. Was they said in the last
Of course,
episode?
I know what that is.
What is it?
If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think you know what it is either. Although it does give examples. Zwift. I know what Zwift is.
Maybe that falls under that category.
I guess, but they say run keeper challenges also. Like, I don't know. I know what Zwift is because I did that when I was training indoors a lot. I didn't want to just run on a treadmill. I wanted to do something, and they have courses. You can run the
Well, I think
Berlin Marathon,
With that
London
stuff,
Marathon.
what's cool about that is I think that you can create a room and you can all be in there and
Yeah.
talking to each other while you're all doing the same course or workout. I think that's
kinda
kind of that's a cool. I know that Clint and David and Bob and I think Randy
for biking.
they do that on Saturday mornings a lot. Somebody will create a room and they all get in there and then they're all at home. But
do
then
those miles count because it's virtual or no?
I don't think so. I don't even think the workout counts. It's my feeling.
Yeah.
No, but it's a cool way to get a workout.
It is. It is. Yeah. Because, life happens.
Mhm.
Gen Z's influence on the future of running events. I think this is pretty cool to mention. Low pressure, inclusive, and community-based. So those are 3 big things on how Gen Zers will influence the direction of running events. There's going to be less emphasis on competition, more on wellness and expression. Preference, and this is interesting. Well, number one, we said when we were talking about this, putting this together, low emphasis. Well, I don't think less. Oh, less is good. So low pressure, inclusive, community based, less emphasis on competition, more on wellness and expression. That sounds like trail running. Like that is a huge thing in trail running. All like bring people in, support them. You're cheering on your competitor. Huge. Like it's not cutthroat. And I don't want to dog road running, but it is a different feel. Very different feel.
Yeah, for sure.
And then this is interesting. Preference for shorter distances, unique experiences, and digital interaction. Shorter distances is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I guess
Why
that
do you wanna
makes
go shorter?
sense with the attention span thing we talked about. Because this does say next, TikTok run challenges, which those have got to be super short. Like it's nothing.
10 seconds.
10 seconds of running. And Strava Art. Oh, that is fun. Now, Strava Art as a creative event.
We were doing that back in the day.
We spelled names. But you see some of the people that do that. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. The one that I sent you turned out to be fabricated a bit. So I think they did the initial design and then they did the like walking part where they did the person walking. Some of that was fabricated, still pretty cool. And then the business of races, how race directors, brands, and sponsors are adapting to all of this. Obviously, you have to change. Look at COVID, how things had to change. Look at adding virtual, how things have had to change. Monetization of virtual races. I know you like that. You want to do a virtual race, don't you?
I
put one on.
I zoned out when you started talking about virtual again.
Environmentally sustainability in events. That's huge.
I think
We've
it's
seen
important.
that. Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. We
Like
don't
a
want
hiccup.
to leave our trash all over the place. We want to pick up after ourselves.
Yeah. And we've seen that in trail races for a while with the no cup races.
Yeah, so much better.
Could
so
you
much nicer.
imagine the difference? Like Boston, like a major doing no cups.
I know.
Holy smokes.
Right.
Like, how would you even do it without like a hiccup?
Yeah. Or bottles. You'd have to.
Well, that's trash.
But that's no carry. You'd have to carry. You'd have to pack. But what's funny is I know people that have run Tokyo this year, and you can't run with a pack in that race.
Oh, you couldn't even run with a water?
No. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
At least a pack. I don't know, like if you could wear a waist belt or anything like that, but I don't think you could wear any of that.
Wow.
So then you're not sustainable in that case.
Yeah, that makes it harder to do that.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And the role influencers and micro communities have on the business of running, which we do see through all kinds of social media platforms, TikTok, things like that. Like that guy that ran New York with the guy on a bike or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Created
He got
such a
banned
ruckus.
for life.
Banned for life.
He owned it, though, at least.
He did. And that's really good. Yeah. He said, sorry, I made a mistake. Totally my fault. So, but that is, you see that, and that is shaping the way things are happening with running. But yeah, that's the last 50 years or so of...
Was it 50?
Yeah.
I don't know.
70 to... I mean, it's 55, really. 70 to 55, or to 25.
All right.
55.
You got that figured out?
I got that figured out.
Yeah.
That is the last 55 years of running, summed up in 24 minutes. See what you learn here?
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Share it with somebody that wants to know a little bit about running and all the last 55 years of it. And yeah, hit like, subscribe, do all of that. But that is going to wrap up this week's episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.